Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? This is TweaK here, back again with another video. Now, this is a little bit different than other videos we've done in the past. I know it's kind of like a very niche thing to talk about, as you can see by the title, but I've been getting asked a lot recently, what do you keep in your secure container and why? And you know, what stuff do you recommend I keep in my container? I have an Epsilon, or I have a Gamma, or I have an Alpha container, or something like that. So I just thought I'd throw together this quick video and we just go over what is in our secure containers, or in my secure container, and maybe I could like give you guys some advice and you know, how to like make the best use of it, and like what's super important and what's not so important. So let's get into it. So this right here is my Kappa container. Now, I know that this isn't going to apply to a ton of people because not a lot of people have gotten their Kappa containers yet, but this is the standard like layout of my Kappa container when I'm not training strength. Now, for the moment, this is actually what my Kappa container looks like. So I only bring 3 stims with me, and then spare ammo, and then everything else I would keep in my rig. So that means that I don't have a surgery kit in my container. It means I don't have splints. It means I don't have golden stars. But the reason for this is because I've been running shoreline a lot. So in running shoreline, I know when I get to the resort, I'm probably like, if I forget to bring something with me, I will find another painkiller, no problem. Or I will find, you know, a surgery kit or splints, or, you know, and then sometimes I don't and I get unlucky. It is what it is. But for the moment, this is what I'm running. Now, I always get asked questions about the stims. What does the ETGC do? So this stim is a regenerative stimulator or stimulant. So what it does is, it gives you like immunity, skill, metabolism, energy recovery. But this is what we're focused on here, health regeneration. So when you hit this stim, you just start regenerating HP like a lunatic. Like, it's insane how fast you get your health back when you pop this stim. So I will use this if I get lit up and I know I'm being pushed and I'm too hurt to like heal myself, and maybe I have a bleed or like a heavy bleed. What I'll do is I will hit my propofol, and then I'll hit this stim, and before you know it, like after a couple of seconds, you're back to full HP. Now, you're still going to, you know, like if you got a blacked out limb or something like that, that ain't coming back until you get away somewhere safe to do surgery. But the amount of times this stim has let me stay in the fight, or even catch people like super off guard, because, you know, they think I'm super hurt. I run away into a room, hit my propofol, hit my green stim, and then when they come back in, I'm like almost full HP again, maybe minus a limb or 2 or 3, you know, in the worst case scenario. But this green stim, I will not do a raid without it. This has saved my life so many times. The only downside to it is that your energy and hydration get kind of tanked when you use it. So when you're using it, be conscious that, you know, you should have like some food, unless you're getting out of the raid, you know, really quickly on like smaller maps and stuff. But yeah, it's a really, really awesome stim. This is arguably like one of my favorite stims in the game. I've got a couple of favorites, and this is definitely near the top of the list. As far as like versatility and usefulness goes, this is one of my favorites. Moving on, I have a mule stim. Every single time I've got a mule stim on me, it is absolutely worth the negative side effects. Especially if you're looting shoreline. I would say even if you're going to reserve, God, I'll use this just anytime I get overweight. I'll just hit a mule and I'll go, because the amount of ground it lets you cover, like you basically get plus 50% to your weight limit, which is just like insane. Like, and it lasts for 15 minutes. Now, you do lose a little bit of damage, or sorry, you do lose a little bit of HP like over the 15 minutes. So what most people will do is they'll hit a mule and then they'll hit a propofol, because the propofol actually counters the negative HP effect of the mule stim, and then your damage taken then gets increased by 9%. Now, this is damage taken to everywhere in your body except for your head, which I actually didn't even know that until now that they added that in, because I'm pretty sure before it was damage taken was just everywhere, no matter what. But I guess they might have changed it, or maybe it's been like that forever, but I'm almost sure this wasn't here. So you got to be a little bit careful. Usually when you hit your mule, you've finished with your PvP, you've done looting everybody. So no, you know, the area that you're in, you should be reasonably sure that it's fairly clear, and then you just hit it, you just hit it and you go. So that is why I bring a mule with me, because I end up usually being overweight in a lot of my raids, and it's just great to just sprint straight to the extract. Oftentimes I will combine the mule with the next stim, which is the SJ6. So SJ6 gives you increased stamina recovery, also increases your max stamina by 30, and it's just insane. Like, you can basically, if you have max endurance, you can just run for what feels like forever. You can pretty much run from any spawn on shoreline to be pretty damn near close to the entrance of the resort, like everywhere, even when you get the terrible spawns. And then when you combine that with like high level strength, you know, and your movement and your sprint speed is increased by 27%. I'm not max strength yet, I will be soon though, but when you combine it with a high strength level, high endurance level, like the distance you can clear with SJ6 is amazing. And sometimes if I'm actually chasing somebody down, I will actually hit an SJ6. I'll drop my backpack, I'll hit an SJ6, and then I'll run them down, because you know they can't get away from you. So yeah, I bring one SJ6 on my hot bar that I hit at the start of every raid, because it actually gives you no negative side effects except for the hand tremor and the tunnel vision, but it doesn't really last for that long. And then I'll keep an SJ6 in my container as well. Now, when I'm finished my strength training, I'll probably just keep an SJ6 in my container. I maybe won't use one at the start of every raid, because like that money does add up pretty fast. You know, 10 raids is like 600k. But yeah, I love SJ6. It's great. A cheaper one that you can use instead of SJ6 is, where is it? The adrenaline injector. Now, the adrenaline injector is, like, as you can see there, dirt cheap. But what it gives you is it gives you plus 10 to your endurance and plus 10 to your strength. So it'll increase your endurance and it'll increase your strength, so it means you'll move a little bit faster. And it also gives you like a really quick burst of like a ton of health regeneration, which I had no idea about until somebody told me the other day. So in theory, what you could do if you're on a budget, you could replace the ETG and the SJ6 with 2 adrenaline stims. So up to you though, but also again, you know, watch your energy and hydration when you use these. But in a pinch, if you're looking for something a little bit more budget, you can just use an adrenaline. So somebody told me about that the other day. I thought it was cool, so I just said I would throw it in here now. And then yeah, I keep 2 mags and then a stack of ammo. But in general, what my container will look like when I'm not training strength, this is just a docs case filled with SAS drives, so I'm overweight at the start of every raid. But I'll be getting rid of this soon. Oh, and then obviously, yeah, my sick case. So my sick case, I keep all my keys. I try and keep some slots free in it. This is why I have a couple of them. I have one here for shoreline, which has, what's that, 7 spaces free on it. And then I have another one down here for reserve, and I haven't got all my keys yet. I'm working on it at the moment, but the reason why I don't have all the safe keys on me is because I'd like to have space for dog tags, bitcoins, cash, and stuff like that. But I really should pick up the safe keys. But what I might do is, when I'm running shoreline in the future, is I might just bring a key bar with me as well or something, or like a docs case, so I can put the intelligence and stuff in it. But what my container would normally look like is there'd be a stack of ammo there, and then I'd have the aluminium splints, and I would have the golden star, and then yeah, I guess an SJ6 or whatever stimulant that you would like. But that would be what would be in my Kappa. Now, if we're looking at the start of the wipe, the first thing that I would recommend everybody to get their hands on, whether you want to just like rush yourself to level 10, or you want to go loot some caches, or you want to go loot some med rooms on like your map of choice, so like, you know, shoreline, reserve, whatever, is a surgery kit. Like a surgery kit, whether it is a CMS kit or a Serv 12, I can't recommend it more. There is going to be so many times where, like, at the start of a raid, you might get an arm blacked out by a scav or a leg blacked out by a scav. That's going to ruin your whole raid. It's just going to annoy you the entire time you're in that raid. So no matter what, I would always recommend everybody to bring a Serv 12 kit with them. And this is just for the early game now. And then on top of that, keep a Saloa or an IFAK or whatever. I know at the start of the wipe, everybody's secure containers are just literally filled with bandages and splints and stuff like that. But I would absolutely recommend keeping a spare Saloa, IFAK, something like that in there, and then having one in your rig as well. I don't do that, but I'm also like really, really greedy. And as I said, like, I play a lot of shoreline, so I know I'm going to pick up a lot of meds along the way, because generally, you know, if a fight, my fights tend to either go very well or very poorly for me. Like, it's one extreme or another. There's no like halfway point for me for some reason. So that's why I don't ever bring spare meds in my container, and I try to subside that a little bit with the green stim, you know, and the propofol that'll, you know, get you out of a sticky situation very quickly. But what you can do as well is you have your surgery kit or your CMS kit, and then you can have your Golden Star, your Vaseline, your ibuprofen, whatever your painkiller of choice is. You'd have that in your container too. I'd always recommend bringing splints with you too. People wonder, like, I get asked, like, why are you bringing aluminium splints with you if you have a Serve 12 kit on you? Well, it takes, you know, 20 seconds to use a Serve kit, whereas, you know, an aluminium splint takes 3 seconds. So if I get, you know, a couple of breaks, I can't just quickly, you know, pull out my Serve kit and fix it if I'm in the middle of a fight. However, I have had scenarios where my arm's gotten broken, or even like multiple arms broken, like 2 of my arms get broken. I can quickly just splint the 2 of them while I'm sitting behind cover, because it only takes, you know, 3 seconds per use. But if you have a surgery kit, if you only have a surgery kit, you're forced to use your painkiller. And honestly, if you're forced to use a Golden Star, it takes 7 seconds to use this. At least with the splint, you can hit it once. If they start pushing, you know, you have time. Like, it's only 3 seconds. And then, you know, once you finish with the fight, you can heal up then. But I would always recommend Alu splints. They're absolutely just excellent. And then, as far as the rest of the stuff goes that's in your container, if you're using good ammo and you're using, you know, like 60 round AK mags in the early game or something, which are quite expensive while you're trying to progress, I would recommend keeping your mags in here and then keeping your spare ammo maybe in your hotbar, or not even bringing spare ammo with you. If you've got 2 60 rounders in your container, you've got 1 in your gun and a spare in your rig, like, you're probably good on ammo at that point. So other options, obviously, you know, you can put aseptic bandages in here. You can put like just regular splints or whatever if you're on a budget. Same goes for the Epsilon container. So this would be like what I would always recommend people have. If you're in the end game, you're past level 40 or whatever, I would always recommend bringing a mule and an ET GC with you, the green stim, and then maybe a stack of your ammo. But word of advice to anybody who has an alpha container that is, I don't even know where I would find an alpha container on like the traders. Does any trader even sell alpha containers anymore? Not even sure. I'm pretty sure Peacekeeper used to sell alpha containers back in the day, but I'm not sure if he does. Oh, he does. There it is. So secure container alpha. This is a 2x2 slot secure container. If this is all that you have, most important thing, what you're going to want to do is get a marked room key somehow. Beg, borrow, steal, whatever. Go loot tons of jackets until you find it. Kill scavs. Make sure you loot all your scavs, or just save up enough money to buy one off the flea market, and then go and get yourself a key bar from the marked room. That is absolutely the best thing you can do early game, is make sure you go and get yourself a key bar, because you can't really afford to keep, you know, a sick case in here or a docs case. You're better off having a key bar. And then I think a lot of people run wallets as well. So you can either do one of 2 things. You can have key bar wallet, or you can have a docs case. But I think people like the key bar wallet combination for some reason. I've never done it, but I think there's an advantage to using it. And then in the other side of the kit, a CMS. I think out of all the items that you can bring with you that is important to hold on to, your CMS kit is probably the most important. And CMS kits as well, sometimes you can snag them for like 15 to 20k on the flea market. Sometimes they're a little bit more expensive than that, and you know, you're spending like maybe 30k on a CMS kit. Depending on the price that you pay for it and how much money you have, you can keep the CMS in your rig and then keep a Saloa or something, or an IFAK, and maybe like an IFAK and aluminium splints in here would be a good idea. But for people with alpha containers, I would absolutely, first thing that you prioritize as soon as the game wipes is you go straight for Propor's questline, and you try and get straight through the Punisher questline as quick as you can, and you go from your alpha container to your Epsilon container, and then from your Epsilon container you go from this to the Kappa container eventually once you complete all your quests. But as far as I'm concerned, the Punisher quest, yeah, there's a couple of quests there that are a bit of a pain in the ass. You can absolutely get it done though. You just got to commit some time to it, and trust me, the reward, it's a huge payoff to go from your alpha container to your Epsilon. It's great. I've done this before on a standard account, and it feels so rewarding when you finally get to your Epsilon container. It changes the game, it really does. So anybody out there that is just, you know, lacking the motivation or whatever, go get it done. It'll change your life. So that is pretty much the video. I just wanted to go over what I keep in my container as standard, because I've been getting asked a lot about it, specifically about the stims that I use, because apparently I use stims more than like a lot of other EFT streamers and people don't see them very often, so they're like some magical mystery or some shit, I don't know. But that's pretty much my Kappa setup right now, and then once the strength training is done, might swap this for a CMS, or I might swap out some other stuff and keep a surf kit in there, or maybe I'll swap it out and I'll have splints and golden stars and all that other crap, but probably not. I'm actually really liking this setup, because you get to keep your mags and your expensive ammo in your container while you have you know, 1 mag in your gun, and then I keep 2 spare in my rig as well. But especially if you're running like 60 rounders for M4s with M995, or like, you know, drum mags for M1As with like M61 in them or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully I answered some questions there. I feel like a lot of people are interested in this, so hopefully the video does well and you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you learn something, and maybe it'll change around what you keep in your container. So with all that being said and done, lads, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you keep in your container that I don't keep in mind, that, you know, you couldn't raid without. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below, share the video with your buddies, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, my dudes.